Okay. Here we go. Are we live? I can't see this TV turned off. Okay. There's one. There's always a delay. All right. Okay. 10 people are watching. Great. Huh? 8. Oh, we lost 2. Got here too quick, too late. Well, all right. So how's everyone doing before everybody leaves? Yeah, I've been trying the live stream all morning. I couldn't get the software to work. I've done it easily so many times, couldn't get it work. Spending 2.5, 3 hours on it. And then finally I just tried to do it through Zoom, and it worked perfectly and immediately. So here we are. So yeah, so the title of this is Ask Me Anything. So if you're there and you're out there in YouTube land, give me your questions, whatever it is. And I'll try to answer best I can. There we go. And I want to mention, if you guys are signed up on the website and you have an email address on the website, webpianoteacher.com, you were sent a newsletter recently, and there's a video in there that's exclusive to everyone who's getting the newsletter. And that's showing you how to dress up a boring chord. Like if you just take one chord, I'm showing you how to Elton John style, Billy Joel style, how to embellish that chord. So it's not just a plain boring chord. It's something that's right under your nose that maybe you never saw. So that's the video that's in the newsletter. So just open it up. If you don't think you got it, then check your spam folder. If you want to get more, if you want to be on the newsletter, let's just make sure you sign up on the website, put your email in there. You don't have to buy a membership to be on the newsletter. So if your email address is in there, then you'll be getting the newsletter and you'll get that, those tips. Also, I'm doing a new hired request list for the fall. So if you ever wanted to hire me to do a request for you, I can do anything. I'll do an album version of something. That's what I prefer. But I'll even do, other artist renditions of stuff. If you have a YouTube link, I can do it. I can also do sheet music. If you have some sheet music you've always wanted to learn, but I just couldn't read it or couldn't do it, I can do that as well. So send me your hired request. Send that to easypianolessons@yahoo.com. and send me a YouTube link when you do that. Now, the minimum price is $300. That'll cover most songs. If it's, like a live Elton John or something, it's going to be more for that because it takes me longer, but I am taking a new list. So send that to me, to my email. And it looks like we got some comments there. I can't see it, Shawn, but if you can tell me any questions we might be getting. Nothing yet. Guess you can't hear me. Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. Some new lessons on the site. One I've done recently that was really fun was Take Me to the Pilot by Elton John. That was great. So that's on the website now. Did The Stranger, by Billy Joel. That one. So did that one all the way through. That was fun because it's, you hear the piano at the beginning, but not really on the rest of it. So it was neat putting a piano part in there so you can play and sing that one. Yeah, so those two are big ones. Billy Joel and Elton John, I love doing. So Take Me to the Pilot and The Stranger on there. Also watch for our new podcast that we got going. Yeah, and while you guys are listening, again, ask me any question. Just type it in the comments there, and I'll answer it if I can live here. So, yeah, our new podcast is on the Billy Joel Stranger album, 1977. It's like, first big album where everyone's like every song is like a #1 hit to me, at least. We've already done the first track, which was Anthony's song. So that was fun. That podcast is on my uploaded videos on YouTube if you want to watch that. I sing and perform it all the way through. And we did The Stranger. That'll be coming out next week. and then yeah, working on some of the next tracks. Now the scenes from Italian Restaurant, that's going to be an undertaking. So I'm gonna have to practice that one a little bit to get that one all ready. Yeah, so good stuff. Let's see. Yeah, any question you have, you can just ask me. And this live stream is something we want to start trying to do every Friday. We meant to do it at 11:30, but because of the technical difficulties, couldn't do it until now. So not really, prepared with everything we were going to do. But anyway, here we are. And so this is just, let you guys know we're going to be doing this every Friday at 11:30 live. You can ask me questions, even, about anything, about the website, about, a particular song. You might be having trouble with a particular issue on the piano. That's fine. Or maybe you're just discouraged and you just kind of want to share what you're going through and, get some advice for what to practice and how to practice. So then some people ask about keyboards or pianos, what kind they should get, while I'm thinking about it, I do have a tip for you guys that I had planned to tell and forgot about it, just flashed in my mind here. I noticed someone that follows our channel. They do a lot of covers and stuff. And I just kind of clicked on one of their videos and I noticed the way they were sitting was really restricting the way they were playing. They were sitting up, or they were sitting too low, actually. And what happens when you sit too low, you have to raise your shoulders, right? And that's not good. You get tension in your shoulders that way. So they were sitting too low. I think they were sitting in just a regular chair. So the shoulders were up high, and it also they had a microphone, and they were having to alter what they were doing in order to try to sing into the microphone. When you're sitting low, it restricts how much you can move this way and that way. If you're sitting up high, then, I don't know what the mechanics are behind it, but it's just a lot easier to go this way and that way on the piano while still keeping your face over the microphone. When you're sitting too low, you tend to have to do this, see, when you move around. And I just noticed that would really free that person up. And probably a lot of you are doing that. So watch how you're sitting. Most people, when they sit wrong, are sitting too low. So make sure you can experiment, raise what you're sitting on, get an adjustable piano bench or something, or lower the keyboard or raise the keyboard according to your needs. We do have a question. What is it? Uh-huh. Okay. I do have stuff like that. Yeah, I do have. Okay. Oh, I forgot to read the question because you're not over here. Let's see. So the question was from Robin, and she asked, do we have any more like show tune stuff? I got Broadway stuff, show tunes, Gershwin, probably things of that nature. That's great music. And I know I do have some of that on the website. Unfortunately, there's not a category for that. When you do the pull down and you do, the categories like rock, blues, classical, some of the categories, there's not a category for show tunes or Broadway, but I know I have done some of that stuff. I can't think of any of it offhand right now. I know I have done it. It's not a ton of things. I know that as well. But I have done some of it. And as far as getting more of it on the site, guys, the whole library on webpianoteacher.com is based off the hired request list. When people hire me to do lessons, that's what goes on the site. And that's what's always gone on the site. And that's been a great way of doing it, because if I just choose what I like, then you get kind of a one-sided thing, because I don't know a lot of music that you guys know. And if you guys are the ones that are choosing what songs you want on the website, then you get this eclectic thing of everything, and if one person wants a song, there's usually a lot more people that want that song as well. So if I let you guys decide what goes on there, then it really makes the website just cover so many genres. That's what I've been always proud about it, is that you don't just have rock, you have like Broadway stuff, you have classical stuff, you have all kinds of artists from all decades, rock, blues, country, reggae, the old school blues, music from the 40s, 50s, 60s, just everything. And so it's always based on the hard request. So I encourage anyone out there listening, if you have a particular one that you want, request it. And maybe if someone else out there wants that same one too, they'll like that one and want another one. So it kind of snowballs that way. As soon as someone, gets on a certain genre, they may want to hire me to do another one. So that's how that works. Okay. Jim asked if we ever finished the song we were doing. We did. Actually, there's a video of whose song it is it anyway, a live that we did, and we sang it all the way through. So yes, we did. And I occasionally find myself kind of humming it sometimes. And we laugh because yes, right. That's right. We finished the Fleetwood Mac song we were writing for the podcast. So that's on the channel, an original song that Shauna and I wrote together. And we talk about, the process of writing the song, and we perform it on the podcast. The name of it is, tell me, okay. Oh yeah, I forgot the name. Slow Down Fast. And it's in our playlist for Web Piano Teacher podcast series. And you can hear that original song, and it's in the style of, Stevie Nicks style. And so I'll leave it at that. If I have your curiosity, then maybe you'll watch it and give us some comments. We'd love that, because we worked really hard on doing that song. And it's frustrating sometimes to, you don't get a lot of views because YouTube doesn't kind of look at my channel as something important to them, because we don't generate ads like a lot of the other free content does. So, but anyway, check that out. See what you think of that. We'd appreciate it. Yeah. What else? We have anything else at the moment? What am I working on? There's a new hard request I got from a guy named Clint, who is just awesome. He's always very generous with his hard request. I'll just leave it at that. But anyway, there's an ELO song, Electric Light Orchestra, and that ought to be fun to do. So that's coming up, and I'm just building the list right now. So again, if you're just hopping on and you want a hard request, Easy Piano Lessons at yahoo.com, EASY Piano Lessons plural at Yahoo. Send me a YouTube link of what you want, or sheet music. I can do sheet music. And if you have sheet music and you want it transcribed to my whiteboard way of doing things, I can do that as well. It's going to be more expensive than if I just get to use the sheet music alone, but we can do that. So anything that you want a lesson on, I can do. I've done it all through the years, and it's what I'm best at, and I love doing it. And the price again is the base price is $300 for that, and that covers most average songs. But a lot of people, that on the high request list, they don't want average songs. They want something it's a little unusual, live versions and so forth. So that's another thing I love about the hard request list, is that there are live versions that are way better than album versions many times. And you get all that good stuff in the live versions many times. And I would have never thought to do that. I would have thought, oh, people only want album versions all the time, but that's not true. And then I start getting, messages of people, oh, love that you did that version of it. And all of you guys out there are so smart about your rock history and who's playing what. And, you kind of get on to me sometimes if I don't remember the name of the piano player. I say, whoever plays the piano, they're like, oh, you got to say his name. Well, I don't know his name. And that's your job. So if you want everyone to know, then you can put it in the comments. But you guys are so knowledgeable about, rock history and the bands, and who bands breaking up and forming other bands, and when they did this version, and maybe this obscure album that nobody knows, but it's really cool, and all that good stuff. So I love getting to be educated in that way by you guys, by the hard request list. So I'm trying to think of what else we can say. Yeah, again, if you're not on the mailing list, that newsletter, we put a lot of thought into that, and there's something really cool. Should I tell them what's in it, or do they need to go look at it, Shauna? The Zoom thing. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yes, we do. So one of the coolest things in the Zoom in the newsletter that we sent out, check your email again if you didn't get it. We're doing a live Zoom thing this Saturday at 11:30, 11 a.m. Central Time. That's tomorrow, 11 a.m. Central Time. And it's just a Zoom where anybody can jump on. That's in the newsletter. If you have the newsletter, you have the link that you can get on there, and you just have to have the Zoom app. Okay. And if you don't know what Zoom is, just download it for free on your phone or your desktop computer, your iPad. And then you click the link and you're in, and you can remain completely silent if you want. But you'll be able to see me talking and answering other questions by everyone else. Yeah, maybe we'll perform something. We'll at least, we'll be crazy. It'll just be our little group. Okay. We're going to, like we always say, gather together. That's what we're going to do. We're going to gather together on the internet, just our little happy group of people, whether it's 10 people or 50 people or 100 people, I hope. And yeah, you can remain completely silent and just watch everyone else. Or if you want to ask a question, you can, and you'll be, part of the group there helping out the whole discussion. But, a lot of you have questions and comments that I don't ever get to hear, or it's just kind of one-sided. Maybe you send it to me an email, and then maybe I respond to you. Maybe I don't, whatever, but not everyone else gets to hear that. And they may have the same question. They may want to know what we're talking about. So the Zoom class is kind of for that. And it'll be, I don't know, 30 minutes. Yeah. Sure. It's just to hang out. Yeah, it's just to hang out. You can come over here if you want. Okay. So yeah, it's just a way for us to hang out and, hang out in the piano community. Cause you can't, if you went out and tried to find friends that all that play piano and love piano, you'd probably not find many, but if you get to choose from all around the world, then you might have a few. And so all of us will have the same interests, the same loves of music, and it'll be just kind of cool to talk about music and hang out that way. And you can even ask questions of other people in the group. You can say, hey, has anybody ever tried this song? What do you think of it? And, that'll be good. It'll be a conversation starter and just a fun time. So we'll go anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour on that. And again, that is 11 a.m. Central Time tomorrow on Zoom. And again, you got to look in the newsletter to get the link for that. All right, here's Shauna. Yay. You can talk a little bit. She's back. She's been back there doing the Zoom thing. Since our technical difficulties didn't work, then Zoom immediately worked live on YouTube. So
what's up, everybody?
Yeah. I like the head band thing. I like that.
It's vintage.
Vintage? Where'd you get it?
Got it when I went to go visit my cousin in Durango, Colorado. There's an awesome store there called Old Colorado Vintage. It's like on their main strip in Durango. Mm-hmm. And it was amazing. The couple that owns it is amazing. They're in all these like old independent, or they do a lot of independent Western movies.
Uh-huh.
And they like
independent Western movies.
Yeah.
Movies. Okay.
Yeah.
They dress the people.
No, yes. And they act.
Okay.
In it too.
All right. Wow.
So that
is interesting.
It's a cool place if you ever get to check out Old Colorado Vintage.
Uh-huh. Speaking of vintage, I wish we had the photo we could put up of Evan going to school.
Yes.
Yeah, tell about that.
I wish I had the jacket on right now.
Evan is our second to oldest. He's about to be 17. He's a junior in college, junior in high school, and I'll let you take him there.
Yeah. So Shawn's stepdad is a huge like rock and roll fan.
The biggest.
Like the biggest. Well, maybe as big as some of you guys.
Yeah. He knows all the bands. He has so much knowledge about.
So he's like the original rocker.
Oh yeah.
From the 60s and 70s.
Mm-hmm.
And he had a vintage like fringe leather jacket that was made in Mexico that he got in 1968 and still had it in his closet. So Evan, for homecoming week, they had a theme dress up day, throwback Thursday. And so Evan went over and got the leather jacket.
Yeah.
And knocked it out of the park. Of course, he looks
good in it. In fact,
stepped out of 1968 into.
Yeah. He was wearing a white t-shirt and just get these, boots. And then, his hair is kind of long. So he just wet it and slicked it back, and let it air dry. And so
he was basically himself with
Yeah.
the jacket on.
And it's got the, the little leather, the fringe. I guess it's what the fringe is. Yeah, just off of it. But it actually looked like, something you just might wear, and especially for him because he loves stuff like that.
I'm totally gonna wear it on Saturday.
Are you?
Yeah.
Oh, well, okay. Yeah, cool. Very good.
We love all things vintage and old at our house.
Yeah, in fact, our studio is vintage stuff that we actually went to a store in Waco that sells vintage stuff.
Everything's authentically from the 70s.
Yes, my favorite, I guess you can see the carpet a little bit. Yeah, you can see it a lot.
Yeah.
That rug there is actually from the 70s. Pretty good shape and just really cool. Behind you is that it actually says June 77.
Yeah.
And I like to think of, what was I doing at 4 years old? My brother was being born, and
Billy Joel was releasing the Strangers album.
That's right.
The Fleetwood Mac Rumors album had just been released.
Yeah. And of course, the albums behind us are all, well, some of them I know are actual from the time, when they came out. Some of them are reprints, when they do a second, whatever. But just the fact, albums themselves are vintage, I think. Yeah. And our little 45s up there, and even your newest edition, Shauna, our
I raided my
cassette tapes,
old bedroom at my parents' house.
Yeah.
So I got some cassette tapes and some CDs.
Hey, you don't see anymore. And what someone said this to me, but I'm just thinking maybe you did.
I did.
That you don't see. Remember, you used to go outside and you'd see just cassette tape, like miles of it just blowing on the street.
This was probably like 5 or 6 years ago. But I was driving down the street and I stopped at a stop sign and saw a cassette tape, like all the tape, like all tangled up and like wrapped in the grass by the stop sign. I almost wanted to cry. I should have stepped out and taken it. I felt like I need to take a picture of this because you just don't see it anymore.
No.
And my kids had no idea why I was freaking out. And I'm like, well,
yeah,
deal with it.
Yeah. I lived on a dead end street. And for some reason we were just kind of a place for throwing out stuff out of your car. And people would throw tapes out, and we would see that stuff all the time. We would just play with it. Because that's what we played with when we were kids, sticks and rocks and trash. Oh, yeah, we had a ball. You could have fun for hours if you find an empty Coke can or something. So, yeah, that's cassette tapes. But that, they never lasted. I mean, if I got,
you'd use your pencil and have to like retwist it up.
Yeah, because I got the Michael Jackson Thriller cassette.
You wore that thing out?
And I wore it out. I mean, it seemed like I just got this thing, it's probably couple months, but I played it nonstop. And it was already, how it would slow down and have just little spots in there. Then the
tape maybe would get crinkled if you accidentally.
Oh yeah, and then it'd never be the same. Then I had to go buy another one. So you go back and buy another cassette, but they never lasted. But the records seem to last longer if you take care of them. And gosh, what was next? CDs. And they said CDs didn't wear out, but they wore out.
They did.
I don't know.
Well, because you just kept sliding them into those things.
Yeah, but I was even careful. I was even careful with them, and they still wore out. Yeah, now everything's on.
This is how quickly technology changed, because I was going through my CDs, and I actually had the CD. Like I went to Hastings and bought it at the store. But my brother, who's just 3 years behind me, I was looking through all his junk too.
Yeah.
All of his CDs, everything was burned. And starting to be burned off of like MP3s.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's how quickly things changed.
Right.
To where I was like legit, the only way you could get the music was buying the CD.
Yeah.
To now, just 3 years later, he was getting, and I say 3 years later, I moved out and then he was still in high school getting CDs for free from friends.
Oh yeah. MP3s. And now I would have freaked out if I would have been to try to think about, if I was 12 years old and someone told me, yeah, one day you're just going to have this, subscription and you can listen to anything you want, like any decade, I would be like, what?
And you don't even have to know the title. Like now you can just type in the lyrics, the only part of the lyrics you remember, and the song will come up. And
I think there's even apps where you can kind of sing the melody and it will recognize the song. I think this, stuff like that too.
Jim said CDs are almost a thing of the past. I'm like, they are a thing of the
to
past.
me. Yeah. Yeah. And CD players, you ever have a CD and go, oh, I want to listen to this. You don't have a CD player. Does anyone have a CD player? Or
we don't have one anymore. We don't.
No.
We could put it in the computer, I guess.
Does that one still have a?
I don't know.
That one doesn't have a drive.
We don't even
My old
know.
black computer has a drive, so we could see if that thing will crank up and try that. But yeah, you have to get external drives to do that now. CD, but anyway, little stroll down memory lane there.
I feel like the only thing I don't have any 8-tracks.
8-tracks. I kind of missed 8. I remember seeing them, but I was a little too young.
And my parents, they didn't have that. So
I know that they went in your car. Couldn't you have some though that were not in the car? I don't know.
I grew up in the 80s.
Okay. I can't remember, but I remember them having them, but not having a way to, and I thought they were so cool. Like, look how big they are.
I think that was like a thing like those, what were those big discs?
Oh, what were those called? What were those called? And they weren't even HD or anything.
Before DVDs and like Blu-ray and all that stuff.
Oh yeah, they weren't even high. They're supposed to be like, high def or something. They weren't. I can't remember.
I remember
they didn't last
like
long.
my school got a few of them, and I was like, this,
it's like the parents who bought beta instead of VHS.
Anyway, I feel like 8-track kind of hit that. I don't even know the point of 8-track.
The point of 8-track was so you could listen to it in your car. It was the first thing.
But then they like 6 months later released tapes, cassette tapes.
6 months?
No, I don't know. It probably wasn't. I wasn't even probably born yet.
Yeah, because having a record player in the car is never going to work.
But it was like one of those technological things that like they did it, and then really quickly after they did something so much more convenient, like a cassette tape.
Yeah, I think Roger Lear or something, his dad of the Lear jet, whatever, did all this jet technology or something, but then he also invented the 8-track. Just weird. It doesn't seem connected at all. But
look, when you're a smart person and you know what you want, like he wanted to listen to that in the car.
Yeah. So I guess the tape thing is what was the technology, and then you take that and go to cassette tapes. But I think the 8-track you couldn't rewind. I think you had to listen to the whole thing before you could listen to your song again. And the people would have these. Well, I remember just having tapes all in the car and searching for them, digging in the seat, trying to pull your blow it off. Yeah. It'd be loose, so you kind of stick your finger in there and tighten it up.
I saw a funny thing the other day that was like making fun of like distracted drivers. You know how like the thing is like everybody's distracted, looking at their phones, trying to change their music. Blah, blah, blah. And then so somebody did this parody of like complaining about distracted drivers while they like had their stapled like 3 pages of MapQuest directions.
Yeah.
And they were like flipping through the pages you printed off the computer. And they were trying to change the CD from their like thing and
distracted. You ever seen anybody eating a bowl of cereal while they're trying to drive?
I hope you're not about to say I did that.
No, I'll tell you what I did is I used to try to eat fried chicken.
That's not car food.
Yeah, I know. And the hardest one was eating the mashed potatoes, because you get the side of mashed potatoes.
I thought you were supposed to just dip the chicken leg in the mashed potatoes.
I guess, yeah. But I don't know. You're driving around giving lessons, and you see Popeye's chicken
and you're an idiot like 20 something.
Oh, I just gotta have it.
If you're 20 something and I just called you.
Yeah. So I haven't eaten much fried chicken since we got married, because you don't like it. And but it's one of my favorite, but I know I'm more healthy for not eating it.
You're welcome.
I used to eat it all the time. Yeah. So I'll probably live longer, but it is so good fried chicken. Remember when we had our chicken slaughter out here and cooked all the fried chicken?
Yeah. Okay. I felt
what?
People are gonna need a background. You can't just say we had a chicken slaughter.
We bought chickens to raise.
People are watching this.
Yeah, brought chickens to raise to eat, because I live on a piece of land, so we got farmland, and so we get these chickens, and they're meat chickens. And so when you think of a chicken, think of it walking around, and that's an egg layer. Apparently, the meat chickens are a different kind of chickens. They were called like Cornish hens or something, but they get so fat so quick. And all they do is eat, and they're just getting big.
Disgusting.
Yeah, and they don't have any feathers hardly. So, and their feet are huge, and they can't walk. And I didn't do that to them. That's just how they, when they get ready for harvest.
This is like
they're huge. And so came time to harvest them. I'll say harvest instead of slaughter. Time for your harvest.
I'm like, what did y'all
And-
learn in 2020 and 2021?
So
This is what we
but it was
decided
one
to
of the
do.
most fun days because we had our family over. Your parents came over, and
It did feel
did.
very like Little House on the Prairie.
Yeah.
Everybody come
we
over.
set up tables, and one of my good friends, who was an old farmer guy who had dairy cows and stuff, he knew how to do it, so he showed me.
Well, because they grew up doing it.
Yeah, so he showed me everything, and we had an assembly line. We'd get the chickens, and off with the head. I won't tell you how that went.
I'm not going to be like, oh, it's so fun. But I'm like, we had an experience.
Yeah. And Carter was so good at cleaning the chicken, which is the part nobody wants to do. But he was so good at it. And we saved the meat when froze it. And then we had a chicken fry the next day. And we had vegetables from the garden.
We did.
Everything we ate was from what we grew.
Farm. Yeah.
And it was really fun. The best fried chicken I ever had. I don't know if it's because it was so hard to make it, and but
I don't know.
it was good.
It's also because like you hadn't had fried chicken in probably 6 years.
It was very good. Who fried it? I can't remember.
My dad.
Okay, because your dad's good at that.
Yeah.
Frying stuff. Very good.
I cannot believe people are watching.
They're still watching. Yeah. So guys, if you have any questions or comments, maybe people are just, going.
What is wrong with these people?
Yeah. Comments or questions, just type it in and then we'll see it, and we'll do our best to answer it. But again, I have the hired request list going for fall. And if you would like to get on it, just send me an email to easypianolessons@yahoo.com, EASY, piano lessons, plural, at Yahoo, and a YouTube link with that. Minimum price, $300. Can be more if the song is not average, but a lot more difficult. But you get on the list doing that. Jim is laughing at
funny
how we're talking about chickens and not piano.
Look, you don't want to get Shawn on the chicken conversation. We have this one friend, and every time they come over, I have to give them a good 20 to 30 minutes to have chicken talk, and then we can move on with whatever else.
You'd think you'd run out of stuff to talk about with chickens, but you don't. There's always something else that's going on with them that you can talk about. Yeah. And he recently had a tragedy with his chickens.
We live out in the country, everybody.
Yeah, and he does too.
Nature happens.
Yeah. And he's got a really nice set. And he's one of those, ingenuitive guys who build things, and he built these nice chicken coops and has an automatic watering system. And, it's just really nice for the chickens out there. And I don't know, he had about 20 or 30 or something like that. And one night he forgot to close the coop. He said he fell asleep, and he went out the next morning, and 18 were dead. It's like there was something that got him, a bobcat, a coyote, or something. But every night the coop's closed, and he never loses any chickens. But that one night he didn't close it, then he lost 18 of them. And that's like a lot of work. I mean,
because they raised them from
oh yeah, it's hard.
Hatched them.
Yeah. Yeah. And you gotta keep them alive. That's the hardest thing, because little chickens will just die. They're just walking and then fall over dead. Keeping them the right temperature and making sure they don't get sick. And
see what I mean? Here we go.
Here we go. Yeah.
Here we go.
Then you have, stories about your individual chickens. Maybe honorary rooster, you got to put back in its place, and or raising them. So that's fun. That's fun being on the farm.
Okay. So we have a question.
Okay.
What is a good keyboard? Nord Piano 5 or Yamaha
Montage? Is that a type of Yamaha?
Probably.
Okay. What type of keyboard? Well, here's my personal feeling about keyboards. And
wait, let me just say, it depends on what you're using it for.
That was going to be part of my answer.
I know you were about to put the Nord down. Yeah. You were.
Yeah, it does depend on what you're using it for. For me, I don't really like the Nord so much for as much as it costs, because it's the most expensive one. You probably realize that if you researched them, unless it's changed. Nord is more expensive than all of them, quite a bit more expensive. They're the red one that you see all the time in mainly praise and worship, at church and stuff. They always have the Nord, and I'll use it for other things as well. Plus the Nord is very integratable with computer systems and all that. I know that. So that's a plus, if you need something to integrate with
a MIDI, like a click.
Right. I know that they really specialize in that. So that's a plus for them. As far as the board itself, I don't really like it. I don't think it's that good for as much money as you're having to pay for it.
It has a lot of synth sound. So if you're trying to that's why we hear it in a lot of church worship stuff, because it's got those filler sounds that you can kind of.
Yeah. And I think probably the makers had that in mind. I think probably that's what I don't think they just drew the church crowd. I think they intentionally, were towards that crowd. I don't like the piano sound that much. I think there are piano keyboards that have a much better sound than the Nord one. It's not consistent all the way through from bottom to top. There are some cool sounds on it. I want to put it totally down. It's good. I don't think it's worth the money for me unless you are, doing that type of stuff, praise and worship, or integrating it with MIDI and all of that. So what you have to consider that. What are you wanting it for? It's red. So that's kind of catchy.
We have a friend who has a Yamaha.
Yeah.
I don't know what exact one it is, but he loves it.
Who's this?
Cameron.
Oh yeah.
And you can travel with it. It's a lot lighter.
Well, here's the thing. The difference between the boards has gotten not so much from high to low anymore, because they've all gotten so good at providing a lot of technology for a cheaper price. They've all kind of learned from each other. And so now anyone you get is not going to be terrible. All right. There's not like, oh, this one's terrible, get this one. Again, and the Yamahas are good. Yamaha's gotten really good at it. So has,
I feel like if you were going to buy a Nord or a Yamaha,
I would get a Yamaha. Yeah, I think. And would you say, would I ever get a Nord? I don't know. If I had, so much money, it didn't matter, maybe, because I'd want to have all the sounds I could have. And, because there's some sounds that the Nord have that's not compatible to other boards. But yeah, the Yamahas are great, and you don't have to get the top of the line. You can get right under and be very happy and satisfied with that. A lot of times that last step to go to the highest level will be the most expensive step with the least amount of betterness, if that makes any sense. Yeah. So you can give up this and pay a lot less money a lot of times. My favorite for what I do is this one right here that I have, the Kawai MP11 SE, because number one, I won't dwell too long on it. I love the piano sound. To me, not a better piano sound. They sample each key, not only each key, but they sample with the soft pedal on. And when I press the pedal on this, I can hear the dampers go up and down in my headphones. When I press a soft pedal, I can feel the dampers go up as well. I can feel the keyboard shift, and the sound is not just softer. A lot of keyboards, they'll just take the volume down if you press the soft pedal, but Kawai actually gives you that different tone that you get when the whole hammer system scoots over a little bit to give you that una corda sound. That's the level of detail that they give that they never talk about. Why don't they talk about those things? They were so good at it. I love the action. There's actually a piano hammer mechanism on these keys, and it feels just like a real piano to me. And I want that resistance so that if I go to a real piano, I don't feel like I haven't lifted weights in 50 years, and I love up here. The last thing is the third thing is you can't see the buttons up here, but they're all right here. You don't have to wheel around and search for your sound. You can mix and match sounds right here with just a button. I don't like to have to go to menus. I like to be able to just, I'm there. And so that's why it's my favorite.
Okay, so we have a question from Jamie. Any 4-note finger exercises to stretch out your fingers?
4-note? Why 4-note?
Just read the question.
Huh? Yeah. There are some. I can change the camera view right here, I think. Let's see.
For 4-note chords.
Okay. Let's see. Oh wait, am I changing? Oh wait, it probably takes a while.
It's a delay.
That's a delay. Sorry for that. You guys are going, what are you doing? Okay, I changed the camera, but I was thinking it would change immediately. There we go. In a minute, it's going to be on Hang With Us. It's going to be on the piano. And yeah, so as soon as it shows up on the piano, we'll talk about the exercises to help stretch out your fingers. So it might be black just for a second here until we.
There's a big delay.
Yeah, big delay.
Because earlier I was trying to listen on headphones.
Okay.
And listen to what you were asking me in real time and answer comments, and that's too much.
Yeah. So as soon as is it still going? Yep. Okay. So as soon as the picture shows back up for the. Oh wait, did you turn on this camera?
No.
Oh, that's why it's not showing up. Okay, let me turn on the camera.
Good. Also, Jim asked a question. Could you play a short on your version of Perfect? I don't know what that means.
Okay, so in a second here.
Yeah, so Jamie, for the 4-note chords he's referencing when you do Elton John videos.
Okay.
Elton John songs, and he uses a lot of.
Okay, tell me one more time now.
He wanted to know some finger exercises for stretching your hands to play those 4-note chords and stuff like Elton John.
Oh yeah. The best thing for that is to do arpeggio, or not arpeggios, but broken chords. So let's just take a like a C chord, C, E, G, C. Okay. So to do that pattern, you could. But the thing when you do it, you need to see how my wrist rolls up.
I don't think people can actually see your wrist in the video.
Okay, I'll scoot up a little bit. See how my wrist moves up a little bit? I have this motion like that. That's the thing you have to do when you do broken chords. But that's not the only one you need to do. You need to do the C. Now move up to E, G, C, E. See, it's the same notes. Make sure you come down so you roll back. So. Keep going if you want. Just do a broken chord. And the main thing there is to make sure your fingers are getting over the keys before you start it. Then getting the feel for this one. See how my fingers are on because I've done it a million times. That's kind of boring, but that will help the stretching. You can try out another chord. It's going to feel the same on an F chord. You can also try minor chords. So C, E flat, G. You can do that. Do you need to do that on the left hand? No, you don't, because Elton's just going to play octaves on the left hand. The left hand never has to. That's why I always thought it was a waste in school that we did. We had to do broken chords in left hand too, just so the left hand would be worked out. But you rarely ever have to do that in music, even in classical music.
Can't see with the overhead view. It's not just you stretching. I mean, having a big reach is nice, I'm sure, but it's not really about stretching the fingers. It's your elbow leads and your wrist is loose and your shoulder. It's like movement of the whole arm.
Right. It's staying loose. So we're back to the. Yeah. So as I go up, my hands are kind of up higher, but you can see that motion, kind of like a wave, like if you took a jump rope or something and you did that with it, you'd see that movement go through the whole jump rope. That's how you want to play when you roll. So your wrist is moving, and you're staying loose at the shoulder, and everything is just flowing. In fact, your body is built for this motion. Okay, you just have to release the tension and let it do it. But that helps. So as far as stretching the fingers too, there's an exercise I physically do also. I'll just take, like say, my thumb and forefinger, and I'll stretch the muscles right there. And then I'll stretch, these two, and hold it for a few seconds. Now don't do it so hard that you break something, Shawn broke my finger. All right. Wait a little bit, then go to the next one. Spend some time. You need to hold it for more than 2 seconds. Okay. And you can do that, and you'll find, oh God, yeah, especially if you're older and you get tight joints. Yeah. So the broken chords, the stretching, and collagen. Yeah, I'm just telling you my experience. Before I started taking collagen, started getting, the arthritis, and I'm just getting old. I'm going to be 49. I'll put collagen in my coffee every morning, and I feel my joints, my cartilage, my stretch. It's just all better. I can bend down without going, most of the time now. And so to me, I've seen that difference. So I can't say if that would help
so
you.
The question about Perfect, the song Perfect by Ed Sheeran.
Okay.
I'm going to guess you don't know it.
Have I done a lesson on that? Okay. I might have.
Don't know it either.
I could have done a lesson on it. I'm not sure, but I certainly
just wanted to hear you play it.
Yeah, I certainly don't know it. If I could hear it real quickly here in the studio, then I could do it. But
I'm not going to pull it up.
Yeah.
Because I have about a few minutes left to leave to go pick our kids up from school.
I can't believe 13 or 14 are still watching. Wow.
Well, and Robin, this is something to celebrate. And this is the kind of stuff, if you guys are able to show up for the Zoom hangout thing on Saturday, this is the kind of stuff that I hope we get to celebrate together. So they said they're coming to the end of their first year of their web piano teacher subscription.
Okay.
And at the start, they didn't have any idea of the time scale for improving.
Okay.
They always wanted to do Hill Street Blues theme, and now they more or less can play it.
All right.
That's exciting.
Yes, it is.
I'm like, I love anybody realizing you can be successful.
Oh,
especially as adults who have so many responsibilities and we're tired.
Yeah, we were talking about, trying to come up with a theme, a line for what we do. And one of it, I think a great one, or just an idea of it is you're never too old. You're never too, it's never too late. Never too late to start this. A lot of people, even 20 somethings, think, oh, I didn't do it as a kid, I can't do it. Yes, you can. And then there are people that are 70s, 80s, even on the site that never played a note in their life, and they're playing their songs. And I get to hear all these success stories all the time. You guys don't, but maybe if you did hear them, it would encourage you as well. And to those people out there who have the same experience as Robin, who are learning, feel free to have, I don't know, if you have the guts to have your piano queued up and play a little for us. That could be something you do. Or if you have a recording of yourself and you know how to, that take a little more technical ingenuity, but a recording of yourself playing it that you can play for us, and we can see you playing it, even if you're just got your phone up next to a TV screen where it's, playing back what you already recorded. That's a great thing. We all would love to hear it. I mean, I would love to hear it.
And it's just such a big deal. I mean, it's a big accomplishment that you decided you wanted to do something and you actually took steps to do it and you stuck with it. It's a big deal. And then we even think scientifically what's happening in your brain, you created a new neuro pathway. I mean, that's huge, guys. That's huge. Yeah. And that we have the capability to just do that. It's amazing.
I know humans are extraordinary. So that's a lie that you can get too old, or you can get to a place where, you can't do it, or it's too late. It's not too late. And the reason I know is because I have the testimonies from people. I see it all the time. I get the emails all whole time I've been doing this, but since back in 2007.
And for us, it's not even just about piano, because I read these success stories and I think, well, maybe that's not my goal to play piano, but my goal is something else. And I feel encouraged by seeing people just accomplish whatever, that I feel like I can accomplish something. Yeah.
Another misnomer is, I have to be awesome for it to be worthwhile. I have to be to this level. So I never can be like that. So I'm not even going to try. Gosh, guys, music is just fun. I mean, even average songs are awesome to play. You don't have to be, Elton John or Bruce Hornsby. There's tons of stuff you can still play.
Gosh, there's a great question.
Okay.
From Joe. Thank you so much, Joe, by the way. Sent $20.
Sent $20. Oh my gosh.
We could do that.
Well, thank you. Oh, he did. Oh, that's our the thing I signed up for, the thanks.
Oh.
Yeah, so he's the first one ever.
Wow.
Thank you. All right, Joe, let's answer his question for sure.
Excellent question.
Okay.
And gosh, I probably have a bazillion thoughts.
Okay.
Because this question is about teaching children. What are your thoughts on young children learning music? And he said his children are 2 and 5.
Okay.
And I probably have we have so much we could say about it.
Yes.
But I got to go pick up my 2 young children.
Okay.
So I'm just going to say thanks, everybody.
Yeah.
Can't wait to see you Saturday. If you're joining us on the Zoom call, hangout, make sure to check for that newsletter. And I'm gonna let you.
I'll answer the question, and then we'll end after that.
Okay, bye everybody. Gotta go do the school pickup.
Yeah, Joe, that is a great question, and I feel fully qualified to answer this because I've been teaching little kids since I was 16 years old. Going to be 49 in a few days, and I've raised kids, and I'm teaching them right now. I have an 11-year-old, a 9-year-old, and I've been doing it my whole life. So what I would first say is that you can actually sometimes start them too young if you have a teacher that's going to have a demanding schedule for them. And you have to be real careful with the teacher. The teacher really matters so much, especially when the kids are real little. You don't want to make them sour is what I'm trying to say. So you can have kind of music class stuff for the 2-year-olds pretty young, but you can still have music type stuff if you can find a really good teacher, a really good program to introduce music to them. The 5-year-old is about right. Girls do a little better when they're younger than the boys do. That's just how it goes. But when you start them, I always want to give kids a chance to read music. So my 2 are learning how to read music. I know that I make my living off teaching people without reading music, but I can play it both ways. A lot of the members on the website can play both ways, but I want to give every kid a chance to learn to read music, to give them a shot at that. And then if one day they decide, they want to do it my way and not worry about reading music, they can do that. But who you get to teach them is so important. You want someone who's going to nurture them and give them a schedule for practicing without being too hard on them. There's so many teachers who are so hard on the kids and expect so much, and then the kids end up dreading the music lessons. Also, the many teachers try to go the classical route, and not everybody in fact, most people do not want to go the classical route, but that's how lessons are geared. When you get those music books, they're pushing you towards the classical stuff. If you can find someone who's not going to do that, he's going to let the kids choose what kind of music they like so that they're always playing something that they enjoy. My 11-year-old loves blues. So even though I do have him play, he's an amazing sight reader. So even though I have him play, some classical things for reading, I always let him play the blues stuff. We always look for stuff. You like this? He gets sick of it. So I pick something else, but you need to have something that they enjoy playing, the types of music. And you need to find a teacher who's going to be good enough to do that, who's not so stuck in the mode of, like I was way back then, of the traditional piano lessons that you end up having the kid hate it, and you have a dropout rate that's 90%. So that's my my recommendation to you. Find a teacher who's going to nurture them and not be too hard on them, and guide them towards things that they want to play, not force classical down their throat unless they want it. All right, some kids do want it, not very many. That's my advice. The teacher is so important. Probably someone who's experienced, and can give them those type of things. And you kind of have to watch over that and make sure that it never gets where they're demanding, because what happens if you have a kid that's talented, sometimes the teacher will get excited and then start demanding more of that student because it's fun because as a teacher, I did that. I got them to this next level, and then you end up putting too much pressure on the kid. It's got to stay fun. It's got to stay doable, and it's got to be something where they don't feel like they failed if they didn't practice that week. So that's my advice on the subject, and not to start them too young. Find something you can expose them to music without having an expectation every week for their lessons, if that makes sense. So yeah. All right. So guys, thanks for watching. And Joe, thanks for that $20, man. I'm going to go get some food with that. I'm going to take my wife out to eat. That'll pay for one of us maybe. Yeah. So that'll be great. I appreciate that so much. I wasn't expecting that. It's been a nice little surprise. So thanks, Jim, for watching, and Robin and all you guys who watch us all the time. We're going to do this next Friday at 11:30 a.m. on Fridays on YouTube. So I'll see you then. I'm going to have to shut this off myself. So I'll see you.